because today is a holiday. And it's not every day that I get to actually tell the story of a holiday on the actual holiday, but today is Purim, which is, what is that? So I thought,
version of Halloween.
sort of, but the difference is that the Purim story and the Purim holiday tells the whole story. That I thought I'd start by sharing that story with you. Okay? How does that sound? Could everyone please rise for the king? My name is King Ahasuerus, and I want you to do what I say, or else I'll send you away. Hump! Okay, you're going to join me on the hump, because it's not every day that he gives you a hump, okay? So I'll cue you in. My name is King Ahasuerus, and I want you to do what I say, or else I'll send you away. Good. You may be seated. King Ahasuerus was the king of Persia a long, long time ago. He had a very large kingdom, and he ruled with his iron hand. Well, sort of. Actually, he ruled by having a lot of parties. He was a king who loved a good party. And one day, he had a party that lasted for 180 days. Can you imagine going to a birthday party that lasted 180 days? Would you like that? Now, this party was a party that had music, food, and wine, and guests that came from, no, wait a second, I need to stop here. Not guests of all types, only male guests, because the king could only have boy guests in the palace. His wife, Vashti, she had all the girl guests in her quarters. And so, can you imagine two parties going on for 180 days? All boy guests were with the king, and all the girl guests were with the king. After 180 days, King Ahasuerus stood in front of all of his guests, and he said, I'm having such a good time at this party. There's so much great wine to drink, and so much wonderful food, and so many great songs. Oh, I'm having such a good time. I'm wondering, would you all like to stay here for another 7 days and party with me? And all the guests agreed that that would be a good idea. And so the guests stayed for another 7 days, and at the end of those 7 days, the king said to all his guests, isn't it great here in the palace? Look at my beautiful curtains. They're white and blue. Look at the tie-backs on those curtains, made out of solid gold. Look at this floor. It's solid marble. And you know those cups that you're drinking out of? Those are solid gold as well. Now, not only is everything around here beautiful, you should see my wife. I have the most beautiful wife in the whole world. As a matter of fact, rather than just talk about her, how about I send for her and have her come in, and then she can show how beautiful she really is. She is a beauty. And so he called his servant, and he said, can you come over here and go to the women's quarters, and can you please bring Vashti, my wife, you know, the queen, have her come in here and show her beautiful face to everyone. The servant went into the women's quarters and said to Vashti, Vashti, do you know what your husband says? He says, my name is King Ahasuerus. I want you to do what I say, or else I'll send you away. Hump! He wants you to come in and show your beautiful face to all his guests. Vashti was very shy. Vashti had a veil over her face, just like so. She said, I can't take off my veil in front of all those guests. That wouldn't be nice. The servant said, but you better do what your husband says or he's going to send you away. She said, but I can't go in there. That wouldn't be nice. And so she wouldn't go in and show her face for the king. And because of that, he did exactly what he said he would do in that song. He sent her away. Hump! And now he sat on the throne all by himself. I don't have a wife anymore, and that's sad, because I really do like having wives. But wait a second. I could probably get another wife. He decided, along with all of his advisors, to hold a great beauty contest and have the most beautiful women in the land come and show themselves before him, and he would choose the most beautiful woman to be his wife. Now, who thinks that's a good idea, a good way of finding a wife? What do you think? What do you think? What do you think? Half and half. Well, all the beautiful women came, and they walked before him like this. And he looked at all the beautiful women, and then he said, I think I'm going to choose you. You over there with the one with the long dark hair. I think you ought to be my wife. This woman's name was Hadassah, but he preferred to call her Esther because Esther means shining star, and she looked like a shining star in his eyes. Now, I should tell you a little bit about Esther, something that the king did not know about her. She lived with her uncle, whose name was Mordecai. Her own parents had died. She was a Jew. The king didn't know this. He probably wouldn't have chosen her to be his wife if he had known. And so he invited her, come along, you will be my new wife. Come sit next to me on the throne. And Esther became his queen. Now, it's not exactly true that she ruled alongside of him. Even though she was his queen, she was never really allowed to sit next to him. She had to stay in the women's quarters unless he called her to come and visit him. Now, it just so happens that the king did not rule this great kingdom by himself. He had lots of people come to help him, and one day he invited a man whose name was Haman, we call him Haman, to come and help him. Haman thought a lot of himself. Haman was always saying, look at me, look at me, look at me. Aren't I the most amazing advisor? Even the king says so. The king says that I am his #1 advisor. And the king thinks that everyone should bow down to me because I am so wonderful. And so Haman went out into the town of Shushan, where the king lived, and he said to everyone, bow to me, please bow to me. I am Haman, and I am really wonderful. Everyone bowed to him, except for one man, Mordecai. And it just so happens that this is the same Mordecai that was the uncle of Esther. Mordecai said, I can't bow down to you because I am a Jew. And Jews don't bow down to people. Haman said, what do you mean you won't bow down to me? If you don't bow down to me, then the king is going to send you away. Huh? Mordecai said, I don't bow down to anyone. Haman said, well, I'm going to tell the king on you, and you're going to get into big trouble. Just wait and see. That evening, Haman went to visit the king, and he said, King, guess what? There is a certain man in this town who will not bow down to me. This certain man comes from a different kind of people. These people don't have our rules. They don't have our traditions. They don't belong here. These people should be sent away, or even better, these people should be killed because these people don't belong here in our kingdom. The king was busy planning another party. He was looking at the guest list. He was trying to figure out what kind of music should be played. He was trying to figure out what kind of food should be served. So he said, okay, whatever you want, whatever you want. Go do whatever you want. Haman said, you mean I can take care of killing all these Jewish people? And the king said, sure, whatever you want, whatever you want. Haman said, okay, to make it even better, when I finally get rid of all these Jews, I'm going to pay you a lot of money. And the king said, money sounds good. That's a good idea. So Haman went out into the streets and he says, I'm going to get rid of all the Jewish people. But what day should I get rid of them? He decided that he would pull lots out of a hat. Pulling lots is kind of like, have you ever entered a lottery? Or have you ever bought a raffle ticket? Who's ever bought a raffle ticket before? Kind of like a raffle ticket. You put a bunch of dates inside a hat and you pull out a date and you say, this date looks good. The 13th day of the month of Adar. That's the day that I'm going to kill all the Jewish people. And that will be a wonderful day to celebrate. And he told everyone in the land that that's what was going to happen. And the news traveled all the way to the ears of Mordecai. Mordecai heard this news and said, I can't let that happen to my people. And She's a Jew, and if all the Jewish people are killed, she will be killed as well. I must warn you. And so Mordecai put on some old, tattered clothes because he felt very sad. He walked to the palace and saw this niece, Esther. She was inside the palace. She was walking with nuts. He said, Esther, Esther, listen up. It's me, Mordecai. Listen. Come on. He is going to kill all the Jewish people on the 14th day. And that means you too, Esther. I know the king doesn't know that you are a Jew, but everyone here will know that you are a Jew because you will be killed as well. You must warn the king and tell him to stop this evil plan. Now, I told you that Esther wasn't allowed to sit next to the king. Remember I told you that? She wasn't even allowed to go knock on his door if she had trouble. She had to wait for him to choose her to come and visit him. And she knew that in a few days he would probably be choosing her to come and visit him. That's exactly what happened. And when she came to visit him, she said to him, Your Highness, my dear husband, I would like to throw a wonderful party in your honor. Remember, we did all this party. And we will have the best food, we will have the best music, we will have dancing, and I would like to invite you and your advisor, Haman. And so she threw a great party. And Haman, the king came, and they celebrated, and they sang, and they ate delicious food, and they drank plenty of wine. And during the party, the king said, Why is it, my dear, that you have invited me to this party? Is there something you wish to discuss with me? Esther said, Yes. If it pleases you to know, it would please me to tell you that there is a certain man, a certain advisor of yours, who is planning on killing all the Jews. And I know I have not told you this before, but Your Highness, I am a Jew as well. And if he kills all of the Jewish people, you will no longer have a life. Who is this man? Said the king. This man is Haman, who sits here at the table with me. So angry. He turned to Haman and he said, Is this true? Haman said, Yes, it is. Please have mercy on me. The king said, If this is true, then you should be hung instead of the Jews. And so Haman was taken away, and that was the end. But there was one big problem. And that is that all the people in the land knew that on the 13th day of the month of Adar, everyone was supposed to kill the Jewish people. And Esther knew this. She said, Your Highness, please help me, because even though you've gotten rid of Haman, it does not mean that the Jewish people will not be killed on the 13th of Adar. The king said, I will make it that the Jews will be able to fight back and will be able to take care of themselves. And so on the 13th of Adar, a war broke out in the city of Shushan between the Persians and the Jews. The Jews won that battle. And ever since that day, on the 14th and the 15th of Adar, today is the 14th of Adar, Jews throughout the world celebrate the great victory. They celebrate that they lived, that Esther saved the Jewish people. And here we are today, celebrating on this day, the 14th day of Adar, that we are still here to tell our stories. That. Now I should tell you a little aside to the end of the story, and that is after they got rid of Haman, Mordecai was given all of Haman's beautiful clothes and all of his money, and he took Haman's place as an advisor to the king. So they all lived happily ever after, except, of course, for Haman. So this is a very old story that is told during this season, this holiday of Purim. And one of the things that we do to celebrate our holiday is we eat a pastry that looks like a triangle. And this triangle looks like the hat that Haman wore, because he wore a triangle-shaped hat. And these pastries are called Hamantaschen, which in Yiddish means Haman's hats. So it's as if we're eating something bad, Haman's hats. Or in Hebrew, Oznei Haman, which means Haman's ears. Now I take it you speak Hebrew. So you're going to be able to help me with this story, okay?
Okay.
So when I was a little girl growing up, on this day, the day of Purim, as a matter of fact, my daughter right now is home making Hamantaschen. My mother would always make Hamantaschen. whenever we take out a rolling pin, we're going to, first of all, put the dough together. The dough has flour and butter and sugar and eggs. Let's roll out the dough like you're making sugar cookies, okay? And we're going to take out a circle like this, a cup. We're going to cut a circle like this. Now, my mother always filled the hamantaschen with a mixture of poppy seeds and sugar. And in Yiddish, the word for that is mon. Did everyone say mon? Mon. Oh, it tastes sweet and sticky. My daughter is making mon from scratch right at this very moment at home. And it's, you put a little dollop in the middle of the hamantaschen like this, and then you're going to fold over the edges. So 1, 2, 3. And you put it into the oven, and when it comes out, oh, those hamantaschen are so delicious. I must tell you that my mother was what you might call a mon snob. My mother used to say, if a hamantaschen is not filled with mon, it is not worth eating. And you certainly don't want to eat a hamantaschen if it is filled with prunes. No, she would say prunes, that's the worst. So I grew up believing that the only thing you could put in a hamantaschen was mon.
Growing up in Israel, I thought
Oh, I
the
know.
only thing.
Oh no, don't say anymore, don't say anymore. Because I'm going to talk about that in my story. Wait just a second. Just wait. You'll see. So, I grew to a teenager, and then I went to university. And when I went to the university, one day my friend said to me, would you like to make some hamantaschen? And I said, sure. I said, I'll go get the poppy seed mixture from the store and we'll make hamantaschen. They looked at me and they said, poppy seeds? I don't want to eat hamantaschen with poppy seeds because it gets stuck in your cheek. You don't want that. You want to fill those hamantaschen with prunes. I thought my mother, oh no, what would my mother say? And I said, okay. So, build the hamantaschen. Let's cut out the circles. We're going to put a little dollop of prune in the middle. We're going to fold them over. We bake them. And rice. That hamantaschen is delicious. Well, then I moved to Israel for 7 years. And while I was living in Israel, one day my friend said to me, translate.
Do you want to make it?
And I said, he's a Yofi. And so I said, I will go to the store and get some prunes or some mon. And they said to me, Lo ba'aretz anachnu samim mishpashim b'kol ha'od ne'aman.
I didn't know that.
Then, then, so translate.
Oh, we only in here. We only.
So what did you put in your hamantaschen?
Only.
Only poppy seed.
Yeah.
Certainly
It's
not
only
fruits.
when I came here I realized we could put chocolate, we.
Well, my
only
friends
poppy seed.
in Israel only put mishmish, only apricot jam inside the hamantaschen. And you know, when I tasted those hamantaschen, it actually tasted really good. Well, then I continued to grow and grow and grow, and I got married and I had kids of my own. And one day I was doing a Jewish hot cooking class. We were making hamantaschen. We were rolling out the dough, and we were rolling out the dough with me. And then we took the cup and we made the circles, and I said to the teacher, what are you going to put in the hamantaschen? Are you going to put mon? Are you going to put prunes? Are you going to put mishmish? She turned to me and she said, you guys are kidding. Kids only like chocolate chips inside the hamantaschen. And you know, it's the first time I ever tasted chocolate chip hamantaschen, but they were very good. So I must say, I'm a bit confused. What do you put in a hamantaschen? What do you put in a hamantaschen? What do you put in a hamantaschen early in the morning? Please join me. What do you put in a hamantaschen? What do you put in a hamantaschen? What do you put in a hamantaschen early in the morning? Mon. You can put mon in a hamantaschen. You can put mon in a hamantaschen. You can put mon in a hamantaschen early in the morning. Prunes. You can put prunes in a hamantaschen. You can put prunes in a hamantaschen. You can put prunes in a hamantaschen early in the morning. Mishmish. You can put mishmish in a hamantaschen. You can put mishmish in a hamantaschen. You can put mishmish in a hamantaschen early in the morning. Chocolate chips is a little hard. Listen to it once. You can put chocolate chips in a hamantaschen. You can put chocolate chips in a hamantaschen. You can put chocolate chips in a hamantaschen early in the morning. What else can you put in a hamantaschen? Bananas. You can put bananas in a hamantaschen. You can put bananas in a hamantaschen. You can put bananas in a hamantaschen early in the morning.
Okay. You want to do yogurt?
Yogurt. You can put yogurt in a almond fashion. You can put yogurt in a almond fashion. You can put yogurt in a almond fashion early in the morning. Apricots?
Oh, that was me.
Mish mish. Anything else?
It's gonna be crazy.
Come on, be creative. We can be really creative.
Strawberries.
You can put strawberries in a almond fashion. You can put strawberries in a almond fashion. You can put strawberries in a almond fashion early in the morning. Now, one of the traditions of Purim that happens today is that people send hamantaschen and goodies. It's called mishloach manot. It means to send a little meal of goodies to someone. And I got a mishloach manot from my sister in Michigan, and she put heat bars in a hamantaschen. She put heat bars. Heat bars? Candy bars. She put heat bars in a hamantaschen. She put heat bars in a hamantaschen. You can put heat bars in a hamantaschen early in the morning. She also puts Butterfingers. You can put Butterfingers in a hamantaschen. You can put Butterfingers in a hamantaschen. You can put Butterfingers in a hamantaschen. And then dip them in chocolate.
Oh, get out of here. Don't do this to me.
This is what my sister sent me. I just got it today, this mishloach manot with the most unbelievable hamantaschen. They're like gourmet. So anything else you want to put in your hamantaschen?
Nutella.
You can put Nutella in a hamantaschen. You can put Nutella in a hamantaschen early in the morning.
Peanut butter. Do you want peanut butter?
Peanut butter. You can put peanut butter in a hamantaschen. You can put peanut butter in a hamantaschen. You can put peanut butter in a hamantaschen early in the morning. Now this is the last verse. Here we go. It goes like this.
Did you ever check this out?
Give me hamantaschen. I love hamantaschen. Yummy, yummy hamantaschen on this Purim day. Hey, let's try that. Give me hamantaschen. I love hamantaschen. Yummy, yummy hamantaschen on this Purim day.
Hey.
Hey!
Hey.
So give yourselves a hand. You made it through Purim and hamantaschen. So, did any of you have a chance to read the book, People of the Book?
I'm reading it.
You're reading it. So you're one step ahead of me. I have not had a chance to read the book, but I've heard it's really amazing.
It is.
And I would like to read the book. So I thought today, other than sharing with you the story of Purim, that I would share with you some Jewish stories that come from a variety of different places. Since what I hear, this book follows the Jewish history over different continents and different periods of time.
Different countries.
Different countries.
Yeah.
So I thought it might be fun, let me see what my notes are, to share with you a very, very old Jewish story. Maybe we'll go chronological here. So this story is about as old as the Purim. No, actually, it's a little newer than the Purim story. So in the story of Purim, we have the Jewish people in exile in Babylonia or Persia. Eventually, the Jews came back to the area of the land of Israel and they built the second temple. And after the second temple was destroyed, then the Jews once again had a diaspora and went to different parts of the world. And they once again went back to Babylonia. And during this time that they were in Babylonia, which is after 70 ACE or the Common Era, then many of the Jewish rabbis got together and they decided to create a book of teachings called the Talmud. Now I want you to imagine this. The rabbis are sitting around, they're pulling their long white beards, because you probably know you have a beard in Poland, right?
Oh, yeah.
You got to. You can only do that if you have a beard. So if you want, boys, you can pull your long white beard. And the rabbis were pulling their long white beards, and they were telling very serious stories and doing very serious discourse around a table. Then all of a sudden, one of the rabbis cracked a joke. Now imagine this. These are serious rabbis. They're talking about laws and Jewish learning, and one of them cracks a joke. And the other one gives him a little punch in the side and says, "You think that's funny? Wait till you hear this joke." And he cracks a joke. And the next thing you know, all these rabbis are cracking jokes and telling tall tales. Well, they happen to write all these stories down in the Talmud. And they're in a section of Talmud called the Baba Batra. It's tall tales. And this is one of those tall tales. So this one I set to music. It didn't come originally. set piece at the end. But this is the story of the giant fish that comes from the Talmud from long ago. Now sailing on the sea, and board a ship, a mighty ship, a sailing ship as graceful as can be. Well, a now was sailing on that sea. He saw a fish, a giant fish, a silver fish that was bigger than you or me. It was bigger than a house, it was taller than a tree, but in its nose was a parasite, a rock or a stone. No one has ever known. Along came a big, big wave. It looked like a black, black cave. It threw the fish upon the shore, and 60 towns were no more. All the houses fell to the ground, but the people were safe and sound. Now this is where the show part, okay? So you can clap along with me. I'll teach you words. It goes like this. All the people ate that fish, and all the people salted that fish, and all the people knew that fish would feed them for a year. Just imagine this is the first lox, salted fish. Okay, here we go. All the people ate that fish, and all the people salted that fish, and all the people knew that fish would feed them for a year. One more time now. All the people ate that fish, and all the people salted that fish, and all the people knew that fish would feed them for a year. And from its eyes, they filled 300 kegs of oil. And from the oil, they burned their lamps to light darkness. Oh, Rabba now was sailing on the sea, on board a ship, a mighty ship, a sailing ship as graceful as can be. He returned after 12 long months, and what do you think he saw? The people building up their homes from the fish bones and the mighty jaws.